I broke these football matches down step by step and put together a strong parlay, selecting the most reliable options. We are also going to build a crazy parlay with juicy odds close to 9.1 from 2 events, so make sure to watch till the end. Alright, let's not waste a second. Let's get into it. First parlay, first event, Bologna vs Aston Villa. And here I found a very interesting pick because at first glance it feels like this game could be close due to Villa's pragmatic style. But if you dig deeper, a completely different scenario appears. Goes on both sides and a pretty lively match. I'll start with Bologna because a lot depends on them here. And the team is clearly on the rise after their crisis. Only 2 dropped results in the last 7 rounds, plus a confident win over Roma in the playoffs, which already shows character and the ability to perform in big matches. What's important is that at home they may be inconsistent in results, but they almost always score. And that's the key point. Since November, only one opponent has left the stadium without conceding. And even that came under very specific circumstances. In 5 of their last 6 home matches, Bologna scored exactly 1 goal. That's their baseline level, especially with crowd support. Italiano's team isn't afraid to attack through the flanks, they constantly load the box and can create chances even against stronger opponents, which we've already seen in European competitions. Buddy, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post match analysis every day and always try to keep my audience in profit. I also appreciate fair criticism and your well-argued picks in the comments. I read everything. Thanks for the support, let's keep going. Now let's talk about Aston Villa, because this is a whole different story. Emerging European competitions is almost a guarantee of results, and their current run of 7 straight wins in the tournament proves his level. The main strength of his team is their defense. Only 0.6 goals conceded per game, one of the best numbers, and in the previous round they didn't allow Lille to score at all. But it's important to understand that Villa don't park the bus. They can attack as well, averaging around 1.7 goals per game in the tournament, and with space they are very dangerous. And there will be space here. Because Bologna at home will not sit back, they will play on the front foot, which creates perfect conditions for Villa's counterattacks. At the same time, Villa have their own weaknesses. This is their first match after a break, and away from home they are not always perfect, while Bologna are in a match rhythm right now, and that can matter. So the overall picture is clear. Bologna almost always find a goal at home, Villa with their quality and transitions should respond, and this doesn't look like a closed game despite their reputation. My main pick is over 2 total goals in the parlay. With more risk, I'm taking BTTS yes as a single, and for the crazy parlay, I'm going with Villa win plus BTTS yes at odds of 5. Because if Villa take their chances and stay solid enough defensively, that scenario is very realistic. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. First parlay, second event, Porto vs Nottingham Forest. And here I found another very interesting pick. Because at first glance it might seem like the English side can compete, but if you dig deeper, you get a scenario where the host should win through class, form and home advantage, but not in an easy game. I'll start with Porto, because everything depends on them here. And right now, they look extremely solid, especially at home. Dragao is at different level. 19 wins in 23 matches, only 1 loss this season, and that's not just stats. It shows how comfortable they are at home. What's important is that Porto don't just win. They do it convincingly, regularly scoring at least 2 goals. 16 out of 23 home matches, which is a strong pattern. The team is in great form overall, fighting on multiple fronts, leading the league and already proving their strength in Europe by comfortably beating Stoke, who were considered a tough opponent. Another key point is how they play. Porto can give up possession, but they are extremely efficient with their chances, which we saw against Stuttgart, where they didn't dominate but were more clinical. Now Nottingham. Things are more complicated here. On one hand, they are coming off an emotional win over Tottenham 3-0, which gives confidence, but on the other, their main priority is survival in the Premier League, and that can't be ignored. The gap from the relegation zone is minimal, so it's hard to fully focus on European competition. At the same time, even in Europe, they struggled against Midtjylland, which shows they have problems against organized teams. But writing them off completely would be a mistake, because away from home they play boldly and almost always score. Only one blank in their last 11 away matches. Porto, by the way, while strong at home, still concede around 0.7 goals per game. So they are not perfect defensively, and Forest will have chances. So the picture is simple. Porto should win at home through class and structure, but Nottingham can respond with at least one goal. My main pick is Porto over one goal in the parlay, with more risk I'm taking BTTS yes as a single, and for the crazy parlay I'm going with Porto over 2 goals at odds of 4.2. Second parlay for Aston, Crystal Palace vs Fiorentina, and here I found a very interesting pick, because at first glance bookmakers lean heavily toward the English side, but if you dig deeper, Fiorentina can definitely compete and cause serious problems. Starting with Palace. This is their first European season, and that always brings inconsistency, energy management issues, and fluctuations in form. They started strong but then dropped off, and only now are getting back to a decent level. A key factor is the break. Their last match was in March of 19, which could actually help, since fatigue was previously affecting them. At their best, Palace were among league leaders in XG and especially strong at home, around 1.76 expected goals, but in the Conference League they haven't been convincing. Struggles against Zrinski and Acca are warning signs. Now Fiorentina. Things are not simple here either. Yes, they had a rough period, but they are recovering. 8 points in 4 matches, scoring in 8 of their last 9 games. Most importantly, they have European experience unlike Palace, and they know how to handle these matches. Even when they struggle, they still get results, like the 1-0 against Verona. So the picture is interesting. Palace at home will push forward, but lack consistency and experience, while Fiorentina can play pragmatically and still find chances. I don't see a comfortable win for the English side. It should be a tight match with chances both ways. My main pick is Fiorentina plus 1.5 handicap in the parlay. With more risk I'll take a Fiorentina goal as a single, and for the crazy parlay I'm going with 1-2 plus BTTS yes at odds of 2.9. Second parlay, second event, Mainz vs Strasbourg, and here I found another strong ender, because at first glance it's two evenly matched teams with perfect odds. One at home, one away, but if you go deeper you see a very open and high scoring game. Starting with Mainz, because their home factor is key. The team is in great form, unbeaten since February of 20, 3 straight wins in the Bundesliga, including wins over strong teams like Eintracht and Hoffenheim, which shows real form, not just an easy schedule. In the Conference League at home, they are perfect. 5 wins out of 5, even beating Fiorentina, which shows how strong they are at home. They consistently score at least 2 goals in 4 straight matches, which is a pattern. But there is also a downside. Injuries across their squad, including goalkeeper issues, which reduces defensive stability. Now Strasbourg. Very interesting team. Unbeaten since mid-February and the only team without losses in the Conference League. Away from home they are incredible. 5 wins out of 5, adapting perfectly to different conditions. Even without Panicelli, they beat Nice comfortably, scoring 3 before halftime, showing attacking depth and flexibility. So the picture is clear. Mainz attack at home, Strasbourg don't sit back away, both teams are in form, both score regularly, but neither is perfect defensively. This is a stylistic matchup with no buzz, meaning a back-and-forth game with chances on both sides, where 2 goals is the baseline. My main pick is over 2 total goals in the parlay. With more risk I'll take Mainz over 1.5 goals as a single, and for the crazy parlay I'm going with 3 total goals at odds 2.45. Hope you enjoyed this detailed breakdown and dropped a like on the video.